Those against a designated hitter come up with all sorts of analogies, such as, why don't you just have a DH for any poor hitter? Or a designated runner for catchers, or it's like having a designated free throw shooter for Wilt Chamberlain. They missed the point entirely. These things are just a few players here and there who are a little bit below normal. With pitchers, it is a huge number of players far below minimum standards. Take a look at this graph here. This shows the batting averages of the 9 different positions in the National League in 2016. Up here at 281 were second basemen, and at 254 was right fielders. So everybody else is in this narrow range between 281 and 254, but when you get to the pitchers, it's all the way down to 135. And I think for the good of baseball, this 135 should be closer up to here where these others are. I do not blame the pitchers one bit for this. Ted Williams said that hitting a baseball was the hardest act in all of sports. I would say that pitching is just as difficult. It is totally unrealistic to expect more than a few to do both at the major league level. Many could do both in Little League, but this is not Little League. It is not just a few players involved. In the National League, at any one time, you have about 188 pitchers on the rosters, and you need 75 of them to be starters. 5 starters times 15 teams. So you have 75 starters and 113 relief pitchers on National League rosters at any one time. In 2016, 60 of your 75 starting pitchers batted below 200, and 200 is considered a minimum standard for any other position. I don't think any analogy can come close to this massive of a scale. The number of players involved and how many are below minimum standard. Not just below average, but below minimum standard. That is why the DH is justified only for pitchers, and a designated whatever is not applicable anywhere else in baseball or other sports. Keep in mind, the purpose of the DH is not to maximize anything. We're not trying to maximize offense, but to replace a very bad spot in the batting order. Some people say the American League should dump the DH. Looking at all the stats I've given you, I hope you see why we won't be doing that. We would have nothing to gain by replacing the DH with this 135 hitter here. As I've shown you in the previous videos, the DH causes no reduction in meaningful strategy. You get more and better strategy for the number 9 slot in the order by getting more base runners, and the strategy is more unpredictable and thus more fun.